Good morning, everyone. It's day 1/2 of me trying out a Kindle. If you watched my video from yesterday, I kind of told you about me quitting Instagram or logging out of Instagram and kind of creating a barrier for easily accessing Instagram and then doom scrolling mindlessly. And my personal philosophy always has been not necessarily only to kind of forbid me from doing something that I don't want to do, in this case doom scrolling or mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, but replacing it with something else that is a little bit, in air quotes, better than just mindlessly doom scrolling. I added retro gaming into the mix, which has been an amazing tool with the Anbionic it's a difficult name, RG35XX Plus, which is a really cool gaming device that I also kind of recommend as a mental health tool, not to ignore problems, but rather to kind of reset your mindset, right? That is something that I have been kind of, praising a lot on this channel. But with technology, where am I going with the sentence? No, that's not where I wanted to go. But with retro gaming, it sometimes isn't as possible to do when you're, for example, sitting next to your partner or my wife, and I don't want to kind of bother her. Maybe she's already sleeping and I don't want to have that click, 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 click sound of the gaming device. So I kind of thought, why not also start reading again? I love audiobooks. I listen to a bunch of audiobooks, but I notice when I'm just sitting down and am listening to audiobooks, I just start to want to have something in my hand, right? So that's the reason why I'm listening to audiobooks and, my phone is still in my hand. Let's take a look. I can't go into Instagram. Let's look for something else. And in some cases it is, let's browse some web stores and, do I need a new gaming device? So you see there, I'm spiraling in a completely different direction. And to be fair, my wife was like, why do you replace Instagram now with this? Why can't you just sit down and do nothing? And I can't. I get bored and I need to do something. And I know that is a bad habit, but maybe at some point I can get to that point that I just can sit down and be bored. But as I also always say, I like to do small steps instead of like jumping a few miles ahead and then or putting that goal too far ahead and then kind of giving up because I just can't do it. So instead of having my phone in my hand, in those cases where I cannot play a retro game, I have now a Kindle in my hand. And yes, it has buttons and I'm reading, I'm doing something actively instead of air quotes, just listening to an audiobook and then have my hands and my eyes pretty much not occupied. I notice I need something in my hands or my eyes have to do something in order not to get into that spiral of wanting to do something on my phone, right? So first day of using a Kindle, I have been surprised that I am able to read as fast as I used to. I was really, 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 really under the impression that I kind of forgot to read. Not necessarily reading in particular, but rather that my attention span isn't that great. I do notice sometimes when I read a briefing for a job or when I'm reading a manual for something, because when I was on Christmas, I was at my in-laws and the dad of my wife asked me to fix their printer. And it was a printer that I wasn't familiar with, and I kind of looked for manual, and I tend to just kind of read diagonally, so just skim through whatever I need to find. So up to now, I was under the impression, oh no, I kind of forgot how to read in terms of concentrating on one book, because my attention span isn't great. But I was pleasantly surprised that I am actually still able to just kind of look at this Kindle and read through a book, and not kind of have my mind drift off. Maybe it's a testament to the book that I'm just started reading, but that was my biggest fear, that I would read something and that my attention span would kind of prevent me from reading. I also tried to read for 10 minutes last night before going to sleep, and I was actually able to sleep much better. I was actually surprised that just not being on my phone, or just not watching a YouTube video about a camera or whatever, it actually helped me to sleep better, which was actually quite surprising. Then, yeah, I really enjoy using this Kindle. Obviously, as gear acquisition syndrome kicks in, 2 days previously, before getting my old Kindle, I was obviously looking, oh, what's the best Kindle alternative? I read so much that Amazon is kind of taking away the books, which has happened to me on Audible. I was actually wanting to listen to an audiobook that I purchased, and it was gone. And it was basically because the author didn't want to have that book on Amazon anymore for some reason, or I don't know what the exact reason was. But although I bought it on Audible, I don't have it anymore. So it's very apparent that whatever you buy on Kindle or on Audible, you buy a license to that book or audiobook, and that license can be revoked at some point. So I was kind of thinking, oh, what's an alternative to Kindle, keeping that and stuff like that, and oh, let's buy a new device. And as I also try to remind myself, don't buy new stuff. You have an item that works perfectly well, right? Why should I buy something new? And then I also thought, yeah, but maybe they take away your books. And then it was like, let's be real, Bo. How many times are you going to reread a book, actually? And the only book that I actually read multiple times is the Harry Potter series. And also one of my absolute favorite books is the Book of Lost Things. Excuse me, I'm still sick. So it is very rare that I read books multiple times. So I thought like, okay, maybe it's not that big of a deal that maybe I buy a book on Kindle and then it is gone at some point. But yeah, I was looking into alternatives, but this works perfectly well. So I will stay on this. And I also thought to myself, oh, you could read on your Samsung Fold 5, right? This has a big screen if I fold it up. And then it was like, nope, you want to replace your phone with something else because there are notifications. I tried that. And that was why I kind of thought, or I feared that my attention span isn't that great, because I tried using the Kindle app. I tried reading, and suddenly 2 minutes later, I found myself being in the YouTube app. So that was the idea or the fear why I thought I am not able to read, or my attention span isn't able to read. But once I had the Kindle in my hand, I was able to read for an hour, basically this morning. And so I'm really happy to see that my attention span isn't that bad as I was thinking. It's just bad when I'm on my phone or on a computer, where I can kind of start surfing the web, start looking into YouTube, start looking into Instagram, right? And having dedicated devices like the Anbernic device, like this Kindle, like a camera, is so much better for my mental health, because I don't get distracted. I can focus on one thing. And again, don't get me wrong, I love my phone, but it being multi-purpose and it being able to kind of bombard me with notifications, or even if I switch off the notifications, as I said, as a freelancer, you are always in work mode. And even though you don't get a notification, I just know if I would switch off notifications, I would still check my emails. I would still check my bank account. Oh, is there still enough money in there and stuff like that? I would still get kind of distracted. And that is something that I want to prevent myself just for being focused on one thing specifically. So yeah, I think me picking up this Kindle has been a great idea, and I will kind of get back to you once I have used this for another month or something and can tell you how this worked out for me. If you have an old Kindle, I would say try it out and kind of carry it with you, or try to build a habit reading. And as I said, I logged out of Instagram and try not to be on there as much as I used to. And maybe I should tell you what I'm reading right now. So the book, I'm all about fantasy and science fiction. And the book that I'm reading at the moment is called How to Become the Dark Lord. And hold on, it needs to scroll and die. Yeah, How to Become the Dark Lord and Die. That's the title. I don't know. It just stumbled upon it. It's about this woman/girl. I don't know what her age is, being stuck like in a what's this? I don't know what the title is in English, but you know the movie with Bill Murray where he's stuck in a time loop and experiences the day over and over again. And she's basically in the same thing, but in some fantasy world where there are orcs and magic, and she dies all over trying to be the heroes. And then at some point is kind of fed up with it and says like, okay, I cannot be the hero. What's the female word of hero, heroess, or heroine? I don't know. A female hero. She says like, fuck that, I'm not going to do this. I am becoming the Dark Lord. I'm going the complete different route. And I thought that premise is really interesting. I just started it, so I cannot tell you a lot about it anymore, but for now it's fun. I like it. If you want to hear a review when I'm finished, let me know in the comment section. And if you want to check out yesterday's video, watch it up here. YouTube thinks you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe and helping me to get to 2,000 subscribers by clicking the button up here. I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.